all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Hello and welcome to this very special presentation. On the agenda today is the deportation of Indians from the United States, along with Donald Trump's ambitious plans to take over Gaza. We'll get you all the details. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. Over 100 Indian illegal immigrants deported from the United States. The Indian deportees speak about their ordeal. An unruly mob torches Sheikh Hasina's father's home in Bangladesh. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's ancestral home set on fire. United States allies as well as adversaries reject Donald Trump's Gaza takeover plan. US President Donald Trump signs an order reimposing maximum pressure on Iran. Donald Trump orders the State Department to rescind Shah Bahar sanction waivers. Well, a U.S. military plane carrying 104 deported Indian migrants arrived in Amritsar on Wednesday, the first such flight to the country as part of the crackdown ordered by Donald Trump's administration. The Indians who returned home had illegally entered the United States over the years and came from various Indian states. Now, this entire move came ahead of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Washington. US President Donald Trump and Modi, they in fact discussed immigration in a phone call last week, and Trump stressed the importance of India buying more American-made security equipment and fair bilateral trade.
ਭਾਜੀ ਅਰੈਸਟ ਹੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਸਾਫ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਣੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਆ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਦੀ ਭਾਲ ਜਾਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥਾਣੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਕੋਈ 10 ਤੋਂ 14 ਦਿਨ ਬਾਅਦ 10 ਤੋਂ 14 ਦਿਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਰਕ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਦੇ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਠੀਕ ਵਰਕ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਭਾਜੀ ਨਾ ਰੋਟੀ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਇੱਕ ਏਸੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਮਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਸੀ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਛੱਡੇ ਗਏ ਠੰਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ
ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਐਂਟਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਕੱਲ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਤੋਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸੀ
ਨਹੀਂ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਚੱਪਲ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਚੱਕੇ ਗਏ ਜੀ
ਅੱਛਾ ਕੋਈ ਪਤਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਬਾਰਡਰ ਸੀ ਉਹ
ਤੇ ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ ਤੋਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਐਂਟਰ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਤੇਜਵਾਨਾ ਮੈਕਸੀਕੋ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਐਂਟਰ ਹੋਏ ਆ
ਠੀਕ
ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਈ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਚੱਕ ਲਿਆ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਆਰਮੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 14 ਦਿਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਨਾ ਕਮਰੇ 'ਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੱਢਿਆ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਸੂਰਜ ਦੀ ਹਵਾ ਨਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਮਰੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੈਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਹਲੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਅੱਜ 104 ਬੰਦੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆਏ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੇ ਫੈਮਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਹੀ ਆ
All right, my colleague Mohammad Ghazali joins us to get us more on this. Ghazali, Prime Minister Modi, he's set to visit the United States. Can this entire issue of illegal migration be discussed there, and how does it sit with India's relationship with the United States?
See, first thing, Osama, this should not come as a surprise to our viewers or for the entire people in the country that these people have been deported, because this was not done without keeping the Indian administration in loop. We remember the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaspal, was there in the United States back in November, back in December, and also for the inaugural ceremony of Mr. Trump. And that is when this entire issue was discussed with him. He was told that around 18,000 illegal immigrants from India are staying in the United States, and the new administration will deport them. So the first physical verification of their criminal history, or to verify that who are all those Indians who will be sent back, had been run through the MEA or the embassy there in the United States. So this is not something which has come as a surprise for India. And India's stand on illegal immigration was reiterated by Dr. Jaishankar when he was there in the United States, saying that India certainly supports people going to other countries for work. India considers world as a global workplace, but India doesn't support anybody who goes to another country or to the foreign land through illegal means. So that is one status, that is one stand which India has. But certainly, this entire deportation coming just a few days or say a week before the Prime Minister is scheduled to meet Mr. Trump also suggests two things. One, that Mr. Trump is very firm on the issue of illegal immigration, and that is why the military aircraft being used to deport these illegal immigrants back to India. The second being that even when Prime Minister Modi will be there, he is certainly going to touch upon this issue, the H-1B1 visa issue.
Right.
We also have the issue of how the Trump administration is cutting down on aid. But deportation, immigration, the mobility, what India calls human mobility, will certainly be there in the discussion.
All right. Mohammad Ghazali, thank you very much for getting us all the latest. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's ancestral home in Dhaka was vandalized and then set on fire by a large group of protesters during a live online address by his daughter Sheikh Hasina. This entire incident, it occurred on February the 5th with thousands of people rallying in front of the house, which had been turned into a memorial museum. The protesters, they damaged a mural of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on the building's boundary wall as well. Remember, this is not the first time that the house has been attacked. It was previously set on fire on the 5th of August last year, when Sheikh Hasina's nearly 16-year Awami League regime was toppled and she fled to India. And my colleague Saurabh Gupta joins us to get us more on this. Saurabh, what exactly prompted this? And more importantly, what is the significance of an attack like this, especially for the future of Bangladesh?
Well, the fact that Awami League members, Awami League politicians or Awami League supporters have been attacked is something that is very well recorded in recent times in Bangladesh. There is a certain element of anger, and that is, of course, playing out on the streets of Dhaka as well. But what has also happened is one does see radical elements, extremist elements also taking center stage. For example, burning down the museum dedicated to the founding father of the country, the man who in a way was responsible for the creation of the nation of Bangladesh, and also someone who fought very hard with the Mukti Jodhas to free the country of the evil tyranny that emanated from Pakistan. At that time, it was West Pakistan and East Pakistan, and the Pakistani military really committed some very shameful war crimes in Bangladesh, And so obviously all of that seems to have been forgotten. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman seems to have become an enemy. And that is something that is, of course, sad to see, given the fact that his house, his ancestral home, which is also etched in history, because this is not the first time that violence has occurred there. It's not even the first time that it occurred, in August last year. That house has seen attacks in the past. And this, of course, is a sad day because that was set on fire. The administration, the police, seem to have been conspicuous by their absence. But obviously, this was called and termed a bulldozer procession. And obviously, this is something that has taken place in Dhaka. Disturbing visuals from Dhaka playing out last evening with the memorial and the museum dedicated to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who's also referred to as Bangabandhu, has been, in a way, vandalized completely by elements that have taken the law into their hands. The initial call for the protest, what we are being given to understand by local sources, is that was given by a students' body, but it seems to have been completely taken over by vandals and radical elements.
All right, Saurabh Gupta, thank you very much for getting us all the latest. And US President Donald Trump has made a surprising announcement that the United States will take over the Gaza Strip. The statement has come amidst the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict and a recent ceasefire agreement. While the details of Trump's plan are unclear, his statement has sparked concerns about the potential implications of US involvement in the region. Now, the Gaza Strip has been a focal point of tensions between Israel and Hamas, with numerous conflicts and humanitarian crises occurring over the years. Here's a report.
US President Donald Trump is facing global outrage after announcing plans to take control of war-torn Gaza, relocate Palestinians elsewhere, and turn the Strip into the Riviera of the Middle East. Turkey slammed the idea as unacceptable. France warned it could destabilize the region. Meanwhile, Russia, China, Germany, Spain, Ireland and the UK reaffirmed support for a two-state solution.
We've always been clear in our belief that we must see two states. We must see Palestinians able to live and prosper in their homelands, in Gaza, in the West Bank. That is what we want to get to, and that is why it's important that we move out of phase one of this hostage deal to phase two, and then to phase three, and reconstructing Gaza.
Australian Prime Minister echoed the stance, saying his country also continues to support a two-state solution.
What I would say is that Australia's position is the same as it was this morning, as it was last year, and it was 10 years ago, and it was under the Howard government. The Australian government support, on a bipartisan basis, a two-state solution in the Middle East.
In Gaza, Palestinians outright rejected Trump's proposal.
بلا تصريحات ترامب هذه شيء مش منطقي. كيف احنا عشنا الحرب سنة و4 شهور وفي الآخر يجي هو يعطي تصريحات وإن احنا نطلع منها من أرضنا، هذه أرضنا وأرض أجدادنا، فصعب نطلع منها، أو هو يجيب سكان تانيين آخرين يسكنوا فيها. فلا الإشي هذا بإذن رب العالمين مش حيصير ومش حنطلع من بلادنا ومن أرضنا.
Meanwhile, some Israelis welcomed Trump's proposal for the US to take control of the Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the plan, saying it had the potential to change history, a sentiment shared by many Israeli residents.
בתור מי ששירת 8 חודשים בעזה במילואים האחרונים, אני חושב שצריך באופן חד משמעית להסכים עם התוכנית של טראמפ, לפנות את כל הערבים שם, לבנות שם שטח אחר, כל דבר שהוא אחר חוץ ממה שיש היום שם, לשקם את המקום הזה, ומה שיקרה מאז זה אלוהים גדול. אבל מה שבטוח, לתאר את המקום הזה פעם אחת זה מצוין לפי דעתי.
As global outrage over Trump's plan intensifies and Palestinian resistance holds firm, the future of Trump's plan remains uncertain. With Samia Afsar, Gargi Rawat for NDTV.
Meanwhile, President Trump has signed a memorandum reimposing maximum pressure on Iran, aiming to deny the country a nuclear weapon and counter its malign influence. This move is a part of a broader effort to ramp up maximum economic pressure on Iran. Now, in response, Iran has dismissed Trump's order as a failed experience. The country's currency, the rial, it has dropped to a record low of 850,000 rials per US dollar.
We have an executive order.
U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to reimpose the maximum pressure policy on Iran. The move is designed to cut off Tehran's oil revenues and limit its influence in the Middle East. The order directs the Treasury Department to ramp up maximum economic pressure on Iran, targeting its vital oil sector in an effort to squeeze the country's economy. Despite the tough stance, Trump has hinted that he would prefer a diplomatic resolution rather than imposing sanctions, reiterating that Iran must not develop a nuclear weapon.
I really want to see peace, and I hope that we're able to do that. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. I'm not putting restrictions. They cannot have one thing. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
In response, Iran's foreign minister dismissed Trump's order, calling it a failed experience. He further added that stopping Iran from pursuing nuclear weapons is not too difficult.
معتقدم که فشار حداکثری یه تجربه شکست خورده است و امتحان مجددش هم دوباره به شکست دیگری تبدیل خواهد شد. اگر موضوع اصلی این هست که ایران دنبال سلاح هسته‌ای نره که این قابل حصول هست، این خیلی چیز مشکلی نیست. ایران یک عضو متعهد NPT بوده. ایران موازش در این خصوص کاملا روشن هست. فتوای مقام معظم رهبری هم وجود داره که تکلیف رو برای همه ما روشن کرد.
Following Trump's announcement, Iran's currency, the rial, plummeted to a historic low of 850,000 rials per US dollar. The decline has been accelerating since 2018, when Trump withdrew from the 2015 nuclear deal and reimposed sweeping economic sanctions. With sanctions tightening and diplomatic efforts uncertain, the prospect of a breakthrough remains in the balance. All while the impact of Trump's maximum pressure campaign continues to ripple through Iran's economy. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
And the US President Donald Trump has instructed his administration to either alter or cancel the sanction waivers for the Chabahar port project, a decision that could hinder India's connectivity initiatives with the Central Asia. It was in November 2018 that India received a sanction waiver for the port project from Trump during his first term. Now, ahead of Prime Minister Modi's potential White House visit, which could happen as early as next week, Trump has ordered his administration to apply maximum pressure on Iran to end its nuclear threat, curtail its ballistic missile program, and also stop its support for terrorist groups. And President Trump is set to unveil his Ukraine peace plan next week, according to Bloomberg. This entire proposal is expected to be presented at a Bavarian conference, where Trump will likely outline his strategy for ending the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And after a suspension lasting over 2 months, the Bangladesh Assistant High Commissioner in Agartala has resumed accepting visa applications as of Wednesday. This move has been warmly received by numerous individuals eager to visit neighboring Bangladesh for various purposes, including reuniting with relatives. Now, this entire suspension of visa and consular services was initiated upon security situation on the 3rd of December last year, following a security breach at the mission a day ago. And according to reports, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, who's also part of the Donald Trump administration in the United States now, is likely to call on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the latter's visit to the United States next week. Prime Minister Modi, he is expected to be in the United States from the 12th to the 14th of February after an invitation from US President Donald Trump. Now, Elon Musk is likely to be a part of a select group of CEOs who will meet the Prime Minister on the 13th of February. Musk has had plans to take Tesla cars into the Indian market for a few years.
AI taking the world by storm. Are we ready for the AI revolution? India set to ride the AI wave. The mega AI summit in Paris. PM Modi to co-chair the AI summit. Modi's mission AI, Advantage India. Detailed coverage on NDTV.
Well, time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Now we move on to the next category, which is the Youth Icon of the Year. And for this, मैं एक बार फिर से request करूँगी आशा पारेख जी का स्टेज पर आने के लिए और साथ ही इनवाइट करेंगे मयंक अग्रवाल जी को, CEO Gallant Group of Industries, to join us on stage for this next category of awards.
Ananya Pandey.
Congratulations, Ananya. And Ananya Pandey, actor, is getting this award for her advocacy work on combating cyberbullying, growing achievements in the film industry, and strong influence on social media. And that's what makes Ananya Pandey NDTV Youth Icon of the Year 2024. She represents a blend of modern values, relatability, and a commitment to meaningful causes, which are essential qualities for inspiring today's youth.
Congratulations, very many
Thank
congratulations.
You. Thank you.
And Ananya, there are just a few questions for
Yes.
you. You've, diverse characters, and you've made a shift from big screen to OTT. Big superstars have done their shift. What is your opinion on that, and what's your next move?
Firstly, I just want to thank NDTV for this award. It's truly very, very humbling, and to get it from Asha Parekh ji, I'm such a big fan of your work, so this is a pinch me moment for sure. I don't believe any screen is too big or small. It's a screen at the end of the day, and the world is developing so fast. There's so many changes that are being made, so I think we're all just keeping up with the times.
Ananya, the fact is that 2024, this year has been phenomenal for you. One success after another. Kahan Kho Gaye Hum, Call Me Bae, CTRL. How does it feel to have multiple successes in one single year?
It's really a dream come true. I really think this year for me, more than ever, I felt very connected to my fans with Kho Gaye Hum Kahan and Call Me Bae and Control. I've done movies in the past, but this is the first time that I felt true love from the audience. And, all these films and shows have been conversation starters. People have not just come up to me and said that they like my work, but how my work has kind of made them feel seen or represented on screen. And for an actor, I think that's a huge victory for me.
So Asha ji is here on stage, and I sometimes back मैंने आपसे ये पूछा था कि आज के दौर में स्टारडम कैसे हैंडल करना है, तो अनन्या आपके साथ हैं जो स्टारडम को एक अलग तरीके से हैंडल कर रही हैं. कुछ एडवाइस अनन्या के लिए, या अनन्या आपको आशा जी से कुछ पूछना है?
जी, आप प्लीज बताइए, आप मुझे एडवाइस दीजिए प्लीज.
क्या बताऊं?
आप कुछ भी बताइए, मैं ले लूंगी.
Sincerity, hard work takes you in a long way. That's what I.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Welcome back. Argentina will pull out of the World Health Organization. President Javier Milei office said on Wednesday, following the footsteps of the United States, which announced its exit from the UN agency last month. Milei's decision was based on deep differences regarding health management, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, the spokesman Manuel Adorni had told the reporters. And the US trade deficit has surged to a record high in 2024, with the trade gap increasing by 24.7% to $98.4 billion, the highest since March 2022. Now, this significant jump is largely due to a 3.5% increase in imports, which reached an all-time high of $364.9 billion. Now, on the other hand, US exports fell by 2.6% to $266.5 billion, with declines in civilian aircraft orders, capital goods, and consumer goods. The only category to report an increase was automotive vehicles and parts. That's all we have for you. Keep watching NDTV.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
Joining us today is somebody whose journey in Indian cinema is almost parallel to independent India's journey. Almost 7-8 decades that she has acted, directed, censored Indian cinema. She has been a vital part, a vital cog of India's journey through all these 7-8 decades. Asha Parekh, welcome to NDTV.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Asha ji, you were part of the golden era of Indian cinema. Worked with the best filmmakers, iconic actors. How do you look at your own journey?
Well, it's been a very long journey, and I enjoyed being where I was, and the adulation of the fans was really very great, and I enjoyed it.
And more than the enjoyment, you contributed immensely to the growth of Indian cinema through, the years that it was actually growing up.
Yeah, it was a golden era, I would say, and we had lovely music, we had lovely lyrics, very good directors, very good cameramen. Not that we don't have them now, but at that time it was a different thing altogether.
And 1960s and 1970s, there was a lot of larger than life, depiction in cinema. How did you see the transition? I mean, your own journey and the transition of Indian cinema.
Well, the films which I did were happy-go-lucky cinema.
Like
and you. Yes, and the transition which has taken place has been good, I think so. We are coming out with more realistic films, and sometimes the films are not good because they don't have a good story, a good script. That's what I feel. In our times, the dialogues were very beautiful. I remember Main Tulsi Tere Aangan Ki. Dr. Saab had written such fabulous dialogues that I think it was one of the best films of my life.
And Kati Patang?
Yes, Kati Patang also. That was Gulshan Nanda's story. And it was a little bit of a shift from my glamour image into doing some serious roles.
And then breaking of taboos, you know. You were depicting a subject which was very taboo.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Show. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy. Exit polls have predicted a BJP victory in Delhi. Showdown expected in Parliament as Prime Minister Modi expected to address Parliament again, this time in Rajya Sabha. And in the AI space, we understand India's potential in the global AI race with experts. But first, the headlines. Delhi decides. Exit polls predict BJP win. Is it Aapda for Aam Aadmi Party or rout for Congress? Prime Minister Modi to address the upper house. Prime Minister's reply to the motion of thanks in Rajya Sabha today.